team. Celtics showed to be a great postseason team behind the amazing play of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kemba Walker. But in the end, they just fell short of the ultimate prize of being able to play in the NBA Finals. When looking at the roster, there's two main areas that the Celtics really need to improve for next season if Danny Ainge is serious about being able to take the Celtics to the next level: their backup point guard and their center. Now, I've already made a video discussing who the Celtics should get as their guard, but I can't ignore now the issues that the Celtics have with their center position. As good as Daniel Theis is and how he's on a great contract with the Celtics, he's more of a player that you want coming off the bench due to how he can be an issue at times defensively because of how he's undersized. Enes Kanter being the backup center is a great offensive big to bring off the bench, but at the same time he's a liability on the defensive end. He can't move his feet that well, and this showed at times when Bam was being guarded by Kanter. As good as Bam is, and trust me, he's a really good player, the Celtics presented Bam with more of a matchup advantage for him. As a result, what the Celtics need to do this offseason is that they need to trade for Myles Turner. Now, with a lot of rumors swirling around with the Celtics being interested in getting LaMarcus Aldridge or even Steven Adams, these two players are both great centers in their own rights. But Myles Turner under Brad Stevens would just be miles better. For the season, Myles Turner averaged 12.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 2.1 blocks per game on 45.7% shooting from the field. Now, when looking at Turner's stats, at first glance, it doesn't look that good. I mean, considering how Turner is still on a 3-year, $54 million contract, some might actually consider that this is a bad contract to take on. However, to those people, I'd say that this is actually very deceptive due to the rise of Sabonis. As Sabonis clearly became the man for the Pacers this year due to how Oladipo had to sit out for the most part, the role and chances that Turner got was limited throughout the season. With this being said, when Turner got the chance to be the second option again alongside Victor Oladipo in the playoffs, even though they did get swept by the Heat, Turner showed his worth. In the 4 games, he averaged 15.8 points, 10.8 rebounds, and amazing 4 blocks per game on 59% shooting from the field and 45.8% from 3. Pretty much, Turner would be that missing piece for the Celtics center position. The Celtics lacked that guy that would be able to help protect the rim ever since Al Horford left for the 76ers. Turner is an athletic 6'11 big man, and because of his 7'4 wingspan that he possesses, he's able to make shots inside the paint for opposing teams all the more difficult. But then on the offensive side, this is where he differs from both LaMarcus and Steven Adams. Steven Adams might be able to give the Celtics the occasional mid-range jumper. LaMarcus can shoot the mid-range jumper, but he can't spread the floor good enough to the point where he can shoot from 3 consistently. But Myles Turner can. His ability to shoot the ball will bring back that element that Al Horford brought for the Celtics. Turner being able to stand around the perimeter will just make it all the more easier for players such as Kemba Walker to get into the paint and score, or to set up his teammates out at the 3-point line. And finally, just considering how there's been recent reports that Myles Turner would like to get out of Indiana, this would make the perfect move for Danny Ainge to do. So with this being known, I believe that a trade package consisting of Gordon Hayward, the Celtics' first round pick this year, and their first round pick next year should make both parties happy. Gordon Hayward is a talented forward in this league, but considering how Gordon just hasn't been able to stay healthy, the Celtics should be willing to move on. As for their draft pick, at some point, Danny Ainge needs to realize that if he keeps the picks, he needs to have their young guys playing. I saw a lot of Celtics fans were complaining about the lack of depth that they have on the bench this postseason, and I couldn't just help but wonder, if the Celtics had given more minutes to players such as Romeo Langford and even Grant Williams, if this would have changed the outcome. Giving Romeo only 11 minutes per game isn't going to help his confidence or his development. I know he was injured during the postseason, but it's the analogy that I'm more concerned about. As a result, if the Celtics aren't committed to giving their young guys minutes, at this point they shouldn't be hesitant to give up their picks because of how they're playoff contenders right now. I know in the past Danny Ainge has been hesitant to make a move like this, and Myles Turner might cost a pretty penny to get him due to the versatility that he'd bring. But if Danny Ainge is serious about wanting to see the Celtics win the championship, he has to make this move, because you may never know if you're going to see the same team in the same position. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, peace.